will be probing Sandeep Singh, the man who's been very, very suspicious. And only last night we showed you the tapes from the Cooper Hospital, and there is big breaking news coming in at this point of time that the CBI SIT will be grilling Sandeep Singh. We showed you the tapes from Cooper, we showed you the 6 clinchers, we showed you how Sandeep Singh, in fact, yes, it's that thumbs up that the entire country is talking about. Who was it to? Was it to the Mumbai police or to somebody else? Sandeep Singh, whose contradictions have been exposed here on the Republic Media Network. His inconsistencies have been shown. He's been very, very suspicious since the very beginning. And now what we're getting to know is that the CBI is going to probe the role of the self-proclaimed best friend of Sushant Singh Rajput, who paradropped himself, who possibly was at the crime scene, and as per multiple primary sources had completely taken over the crime scene. Those are visuals that we are showing you, and we showed you the Cooper tapes last night on the debate with Arnab Goswami. Amit continues to stay with me. Amit, big breaking news coming in. A man who's been very, very suspicious since the very beginning, a man whom we've exposed, whose contradictions we've shown on this channel, on this network. He will be grilled by the CBI. What is the line of questioning going to be?
See, because he claimed, if you see that he claimed that he did not meet, he was not in touch with Sushant Singh Rajput, but we have shown, our editor-in-chief has shown that he was there, Sandeep Singh was there at the time of the funeral. He arranged everything. It looks like that he was the one who giving command for each and every action to be taken place at that time. So simple is very simple that he's a controversial man. He's changing his statements. Sometimes he says something else and sometimes something else. So he need to, the CBI is going to ask him and grill him, because his name, his character in this whole scene is very shoddy. So I must tell you, there are a lot of things that that goes against the Sandeep Singh, and he kept on changing his statement. He said, I did not meet Sushant Singh Rajput. Then we have shown the videos where he is, so where he was. So these are the things. And even if you remember that we stung one very close man of Sushant Singh Rajput, he also claimed that Sandeep Singh knew what is going to happen with Sushant Singh. So now this is a time that CBI is going to grill him and ask him several questions. Yes.
Republic Media Network told Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami that the Mumbai police did not even record his statement. Now, these are Sandeep Singh's words. We broadcast the Cooper tapes last night where his gestures have been very, very suspicious. A lot of questions being raised, and hours after that now, we're getting to know the CBI is going to question this very controversial man, self-proclaimed friend Sandeep Singh. And like you mentioned, Amit, there have been 2 primary sources who've gone on record to claim that Sandeep Singh knew. Sushant confided in Sandeep Singh after he knew what happened to Disha. Now, this is as per the 2 primary sources. The tapes we've broadcast, Sandeep Singh, very, very controversial, massive update coming in. It's 11:07. What a day it's been that we've been telling our viewers. There's been a flurry of activity on your screens now. The 2 pictures currently at this point of time. First responded key witness Neeraj, man stung by Republic Media Network, being questioned, and Sandeep Singh. We've constantly exposed him, we've shown the inconsistencies in his version. In fact, Sandeep Singh completely went off the radar. Underground, who was giving a lot of interviews, the minute his inconsistencies were exposed on Republic, he went underground. Media could not get to him. Now Sandeep Singh will have to face the questions of the CBI. Amit continues to stay with me. Amit, if we could take our viewers through 5 or 6 things. Why is Sandeep Singh so controversial? Why does he become so important, especially in the context of what we broadcast last night?
See, if I talk about Ruby Jaffrey, when I was talking to him while he was in ED and he'd been questioned by the officers, I asked him that have you spoken to Sushant Singh Rajput? He said yes. On 12th June, he was the man, Ruby Jaffrey, who's spoken to through a voice note he sent, and Sushant replied. He knows that he is not keeping himself well, because after Disha's death, Sushant was not. He was not keeping himself well because he was disturbed. So that thing we have also linked with Sandeep Singh. Our primary source said in our sting, when we stung him, he claimed that Sandeep Singh knows something which been shared by Sushant Singh. Sushant Singh has shared something with Sandeep Singh, which he reveals to the people who are behind the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. So Sandeep Singh characters are always suspicious, controversial man. He did, if you remember that our editor-in-chief interviewed him and he ran away from that interview. He was exposed in that interview.
Yes.
So he always tried to get away from the questions of media, and especially the Republic Media Network, who has done a complete investigation in that, and CBI also now following the same things that we first stung Neeraj, and then Sandeep Singh's things we came out with from our another primary source.
Yes.
So now CBI is also going to grill them because these are like Sandeep Singh is a very controversial man. His activities are suspicious. At that time also, if I said that primary source also said that he used to trust Sushant Singh, used to blind trust on Sandeep Singh, but Sandeep Singh before his Sushant Singh, he also claimed in that stung that the man who we stung, he also claimed that he said that my own people betrayed me.
Yes.
So